Hey, what's up, everybody? How are you all doing out there? I'm going to turn my headphones up a little bit. They should be about the right volume because I think this is what I was streaming Hollow Knight at last night, so we should be good to go. So I got I finally got my USB dongle, my MIDI dongle for Chamsys. So we're going to start working on a whole bunch of that today. My UA MIDI thing just got all fuckery. There we go. Okay, cool. So, at any rate. First things first, though, I want to get some music going here. So we're gonna. My buddy Otherglow recently released a record, and I have a feeling he won't have a problem with me using it as some backing music here to listen to while we work. Once we finish this record, maybe we'll go listen to some For After Ever or some Silence Noise. Rep our friends a little bit, you know. First thing I want to work on is let's actually go over to vMix here, which you're going to see my Amazon Music. First thing I need to do is organize all of this shit. These are all of my like desktop captures. It's a little louder than I thought it was going to be. I pulled these all over from my other main session, which shows everything off in a way that I don't exactly. Well, basically, I don't have the containers to be able to organize as neatly as I would like to. So we're going to fix a couple things here. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to call this cameras, and then we'll have captures, and then maybe assets, and then in the last one we'll have live outputs. So we're going to go ahead and reorganize all of this stuff. So in cameras we have desk cam. I also have this desk view camera, which if you notice the motion looks good, but it looks super blown out. So I'm going to fix that. I still feel like the music's a little loud by comparison. I'm going to turn my headphones up a little bit so I can tell where I'm at here. This is a really good record. I'm super excited about it. Also, why did it do that? That's not... Oh, the thing disappeared real quick while I fix this camera. That's a bummer. I can't show you this. So I want to go to the... And now it like kind of threw me off. The key's tight. I didn't mean to do that, actually. That was stupid of me. So let's go back to vMix, which should be here now. All I need to do is go to the advanced tab and let's turn off all the auto stuff because the auto stuff is absolutely terrible. Let's turn the gain down quite a lot and let's take a look at how that looks now. Hey, we look a little bit better. It's not perfect, but this way, if I hit this, you should be able to like fully see this now and see like the layout of what we have going on here. But we need to do some more organization. So let's get back over to vMix. I want to make sure and do this so that it doesn't break my automation to my Stream Deck controller. So we're going to try and think through this and not fuck that up. Actually, so we have captures, we have assets. Maybe I'm going to make another one here called composites. There we go. Yeah, let's do another one for composites. That makes sense to have because that's where we're going to start putting things together before the live outputs because there's some things I'm going to need. Okay, so we have the desk camera here. We have the desk view. Slick Dick Rick. What's up, Deanie? This is going to be a fun one. I'm excited. I'm doing some reorganization inside my vMix because I needed to have like a good screen capture sharing thing for a while now. So we need to start moving some stuff around. So let's go into our live outputs. So we have some colors here. Let's move those into our assets folder. Color, this is bars, I think. And then I have the drop shadow. The drop shadow should also go into assets, I think. And let's go ahead and break these out so we can see them, because I should be able to use those. How are you doing today, Deanie? I also meant to ask you when you want to get together and work on some stuff. So let's start renaming some of these. Let's do let's just name this. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm gonna leave it color because that's what it is. We have color. This is the drop shadow. What's in here? And I'm here to flex my new dollar USB. I'm not here to flex it. I'm here to excitedly finally get to do some automating with it. That's what I'm excited about. So this is an image drop shadow. So this way we can organize them by that. Hopefully here in like half an hour I'll actually get to that. I do have capture up and ready to go as well as Chamsys, and I can do some basic. This isn't like the MIDI automation yet, but I do have it set up so that I can like set it out to N and start moving lights around. So we will be doing some of this. Also, how's the balance with the audio Otherlow's record compared to me? Should I turn it down a little bit? You didn't mean flex in an offensive way? Sure, Deanie. Sure, dick. Just fucking with you. Okay, anyway, back to vMix. Which I need to get rid of that now. So what do we got here? So we have capture, webcam, shadow. So this should be in composites. So we're going to call this composite. Composite, webcam, shadow. This is one of those things that like I had it set up and working really well for what I was doing at the time, but things have changed so much since then that I definitely need to rearrange. So I can pop in this white background here. Sounds good? Cool. That way I can, if you can see, like I'm testing that white shadow is actually there and doing what I want it to do. Although I'm not sure why it's like full screening when I turn that white on. Huh. Oh, no, I understand why it's doing that. I take it all back. I like this song a lot. This is one of my favorites of Other Glows. Okay, so here's where we need to start changing things, because all of these should actually be live outputs. Let's go over to the plugin tank computer real fast and start up the NDI. I'm so excited about having the 808s routed properly and working, Deanie. I'm so excited. So now our plugin tank came up because I turned the NDI on, and then we'll do the same over here with slobs. Although slobs doesn't capture well because it ends up doing the forever runaway kind of thing, but you live. Because if I try and show off what's going on in slobs, you'll see it does the... Actually, it looks like it's like frozen, doesn't it? It looks like it froze at the point at which I... Oh, I turned the NDI back off. I'm so fucking stupid. There we go. Now you get the forever runaway thing. There's kind of, unfortunately, no way to get around that. So let's get out of there. You like the 808? Dude, it's so good. Like, and it's such a better 808 too than the let me see here if I can like play it. I should have it in my let me go over to my Reaper view here. I should have it in my assets folder. I'm a little bit worried about how loud it is. I don't want to like blow you away here. I don't know if you're actually like somewhere where you can listen to it or not. Let me turn that down a bunch. I'm just gonna add it in here to the track. Ah, damn it, it didn't trying to sync it up. 808 go boom. I also got like a mid-tuned one. So if we need something that isn't quite so super low and subby, we can use that as well. But we also have mix control over it now, so we can like EQ it. It won't be like panned or routing through tom channels or anything weird like that. So I'm excited about that. All right, first things first, we're going to fix our vMix capture here. I want to rename this. We're going to name this live output vMix. This is going to be a little bit shitty because of the way I have to route this, because I need to come over here and create a new capture. You're on my phone and AirPods just died. Ah, damn, that sucks. So I want to do NDI desktop capture, and we want to grab vMix. Hopefully it can duplicate this. It might be a little shitty because of the fact that I already have it capturing. Okay, so that's the second screen of vMix. What's vMix 3? Is this the correct one now? Okay, so I think this is the correct one now. Oh, okay, don't do that. But I can now call this, I think this is the right screen now, so we want to call this, this is captures vMix. So then what we want to do is on our composite, or on our live outputs, we want to come over to live output vMix, You're gonna lose. Oh, I haven't been showing you anything of what I'm working on for a moment there. My bad. So we want to switch over to color, transparent, so that there's nothing there. And then in our multi-view, we'll go ahead and add the new vMix capture, which is in captures vMix. Booyah, there we go. Although, why am I so, like, baby tiny? It's because there's probably that going on, and we want to get rid of all that. There we go. Cool. Fixed. Let's get rid of that, because that's super ugly to look at. So now, if I do that, it should route correctly, although I do need to change the number on this somehow. This should be number 3. I don't want that to be 20. I want 1, 2, 3. Getting these all to like order correctly is kind of weird. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we'll want to come back and fix it with these later. So I'll create it in here so I can move it. Yeah, that's kind of gross. I don't want to do that. But this should now just have vMix. We shouldn't have anything else. Cool. So now we want to do the same thing with Audio Desktop 1. So let's go. This is using Game Capture HD60S. So, oh, it fucked up my thing again, didn't it? I'm gone. I'm trying to pay attention to make sure that nothing like that happens, but it's going to happen a couple times. It's 100% going to happen a couple times. So this, we want to set it once again to color, transparent. And we want to rename it Live Output. Live Output Audio Desktop 1. This is sort of a duplicate in a way. So let's go to our captures, add input, and now we want the HD60S. It was HD60S, right? Yeah. For anybody who is not familiar with this track, this is my boy Otherglow, one of my favorite streamers here on Twitch. We're gonna rename this Captures. I should call this HD60S because it could be multiple things depending on what's going on. So now in our live outputs, we want to change this to use the multi-view and have the webcam shadow there. Take off my shirt. I got myself a you can't see it there, Silence Noise t-shirt. And also, it's fucking, goddamn it, dude. Why does it keep like rerouting my thing? There we go. Now you can see Silence Noise shirt. Every time I like change the source thing, it keeps pulling my output. I'm gonna have to remember that and be careful about that because it's gonna happen again for sure. Okay, so let's double check that both of these still work. So we have, I don't think that's the right screen actually, that's Reaper. Which may be just pulling Audio Desktop 1. I may need to look at that and find out. But then we can switch to vMix. Okay, actually, that is Reaper, isn't it? Because if I pull my stupid thing out of the way, it's Reaper. Okay, I just forgot because I had my console up. Let's go back to vMix. It's going to drop when I change this, I'm sure. So this is the HD60 Pro. So we want to change this. Maybe I need to figure out when it's happening. Color, set it to transparent. Dude, it's so freaking warm in here though. I'm miserable. So now we want to do camera. We want to grab the HD60 Pro. I'm so glad I went in and named and aliased all this shit because I would never find it otherwise. And we want this one to be 5994. I'm going to have to really be careful about remembering to bounce back and forth the frame rate on that. And also, I need to go look at the game capture software. And make sure that's 1080p 60, which it is. Cool. So let's rename this. We're gonna call this Captures HD60 Pro. Oh, HD60 Pro. I really wish OBS could nest the same way this does. Although my only complaint about vMix is I wish that it had more nesting. Like I wish I could have more than just 6 containers. I wish I could have like 20 containers or something. Like if I could have more containers, that would be amazing. It seems like an easy thing to add to, so I'm not entirely sure why they don't add more containers. It'd be really, really nice if they did. It would make my life betterer. It doesn't matter so much for this particular collection, but for my live stream one, it would be real nice. Okay. So let's go into our multi-view. We want to move our webcam shadow composite, and then we want to add in HD60 Pro capture. Cool. And then also, I really want this to be numbered 5. Getting these all to be ordered correctly. I wish there was a way I could just like edit the number without having to move them around. Maybe there is a way to do that. If not, there really should be. I just like start a log of requests that I have for all of these software companies to update shit. You lost me again. I don't know why you lost me again, but I gotta be careful. Oh, you know what? Some of them might be on like autoplay. I might need to go through each one and make sure that they're not set to autoplay. Because these new ones that I'm building, they might. Actually, it's probably some of the older ones. But I'll try and keep my eye on OBS. But fair warning, I will fuck it up. There's just no way. There was no way. Let's save. This program doesn't auto-save quite as much as I would like for it to. So Audio Desktop 2 should be. Well, I didn't like label this in a way that I wish I would have here. So I have vMix. I have my Reaper screen. How do I get to Audio Desktop 2? Maybe I don't have an actual button for it at the moment. Man, I should go back and re-rig all of these buttons, but that would also mean redoing all of this in the streaming scene as well, possibly. I don't know that I really want to do that. That button doesn't do anything, but having it consistent between the two would be nice. Okay, so now if we go over to this input, where we're looking at vMix. Oh, damn, that one doesn't capture correctly, so you can't see what I'm doing. Wait, that's weird. Does that mean that this vMix one is not capturing? Okay, it's not. So maybe this isn't the right. You're gonna lose vMix probably here for a second. Let me try the standard vMix one and see if it captures everything. Nope. vMix 3. Is there one for like vMix 2? Maybe I can. That's kind of sucks that like does the infinite regress thing, but I guess it's only doing it because I'm looking at number 2. So I think what I need to do here is grab vMix, right? Actually, it was number 3. What's number 4? Number 4 doesn't do anything. Okay, so number 3 it is. Sorry you can't see what I'm doing here as much. Now you should be able to again. But what I need to do now is do another capture input. It's going to be, because I want you to be able to see what I'm doing right now. We want to grab NDI desktop capture, and we want to grab vMix number 2. Nope, that didn't do at all what I wanted. Just the basic vMix one. That's super weird. Same thing, still not grabbing what I want it to. I could have sworn it was number 2, but maybe it changed. Nope, there we go. That's what I wanted now. So we'll call this capture, and we'll call this vMix options. Okay. Ah, damn it. Okay, so I think it's still there. It's just that I don't have anything up. And it changed my view again. See how it's black? I think it's only like that because I don't have any options up. So let's try something. If I pull up... Oops, I didn't mean to hit play. If I pull up in options, it populates. Okay. So that means in my composites, in my live outputs for vMix, I want to go add... In the multi-view, I want to add that in here. So we want to move the webcam shadow down one. And we want to grab this vMix options. And then I think I want to go resize it. So let's go to overlay 3 and zoom it down to like 0.5 maybe. Oh shit, I'm looking at the wrong thing. It's overlay 2. 0.5. There. Now you can see the options. Maybe. Oh, damn it. Well, that sucks. Because if I'm not using it now, it's just a big black thing in the middle of the screen. I don't like that. So we're going to do this. Damn. How am I going to do this? There's got to be a way. What's up, Gemline? How you doing? So this looks really good if I'm doing this, but can I put like an alpha channel to it? If I turn the alpha channel down, now when I close it, it's still a black box. Still a black box. There's going to be a way to make this work. I'm 100% sure that I can make this work somehow. What if I Luma key it? Still nothing. Still a big fat black box. Let's go back over and take a look at the actual capture itself. What if I set up the Luma key here? Just sitting on a bus? I'm doing all right, you know. I'm sweating it up here in the house. It's incredibly warm today. Maybe the Luma key is not what I want. Maybe the alpha channel is what I want. Okay. Okay. So I don't see a black box anymore, but what happens when I pull this up? Does it work? It does, but it's kind of opaque for everybody. So let me see if we can like subtly fix that. I pulled the alpha channel down a lot. What if I just like tickle the alpha channel? What if we do like, oh, I can't key in values. That sucks. I hate programs that don't let me key in values. They make me very unhappy. Okay, black box is gone. And hey, there it is. We got ourselves a hacky workaround. Aren't you just excited? So now let's move it to where we want it. Let's pan it over. I think I'll probably just have it sitting like right there. It looks kind of ugly because it's not showing me like the top of the bar, but I guess you all don't know what it's supposed to look like anyway. So you can see me moving it around on my screen here, but it doesn't translate. But we'll take it as a win. Maybe we'll just put it down in the bottom left-hand corner for the time being. Let's go minus 0.5 and minus 0.5. Oops, not 0.5. Minus 0.5. It'll let me key in values here, but not other places? That makes no sense. Alright, things are going to get goofy for a second. Ah, doesn't work. Since it's capturing vMix, it like recaptures and just kind of goes down the rabbit hole. One second, I need to message Otherglow. He just messaged me about the light, so I got to let him know we're chilling, listening to his record. Working on it now while listening to your new record, period. Loving it, by the way. There we go. Super lame. Okay. So let's keep going down the line. We got vMix that we're showing off. I can show off Reaper now. I can show off a composite, which I still need to go fix some of these composites. Actually, I might not. Some of them, no, I do want to fix them because they're not pulling from the right sources. And so I also need to change this one's name to live output And this is audio screen 2. What did I call that? I don't think I called it audio screen, audio desktop 1, audio desktop 2. What's the beverage today? Powerade. I was gonna just drink water like a sensible person, but I needed to like get a good walk to kind of get my head in the right space to be doing this. And so on my walk, I walked by the store and I was just like, I'll get a Powerade to go with a protein bar. All right. So we need to come back over to our live outputs here. So now we need, with Reaper and vMix, we need to change these. This is a live output. And then we need to go into our multi-view here and change this from the live outputs audio desktop 1 to capture audio desktop 1, which I called it HD60S. Yeah, cool. And then live output vMix, we want to do captures vMix. And I think I want to do the vMix. Now we'll never need the vMix options in this. Although we should definitely have the webcam shadow down below, so we're going to get rid of that. Exactly, getting all them electrolytes. I also shouldn't need the drop shadow because I have the collection that grabs that together. Position, man, I should fix this. Number 4 is vMix, right? Position number 4. It's 0.45 and minus 0.55. That's probably consistent. Do I care to move it around? It's not that big a deal. I have more to work with. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so now if I hit the live output for that, hopefully you all could see what I was actually working on there. You can. Cool. Yes. Everything's working. So if I hit vMix and Reaper now while I'm working in vMix, you should be able to see whatever MIDI automation I might be doing in the meantime. Pretty excited about that. Back to vMix. This is the solo I got to play on the record. I should have turned it up a little bit, I guess, if I was going to sit and listen to it. Multi-view. This one is also shit for the same reason. We want this to be the webcam shadow. And this should not be a live output. It should be a capture of the HD60S. And you should be a capture of vMix. Didn't I already do this one? vMix Reaper, Reaper vMix. Oh, okay, maybe I did the other one. So this is live out. Wait, how have I been doing this? I don't like that because that's not super consistent, but it's okay. We'll call this vMix Reaper. Do I like that? Because all the rest of them all use caps for what they're doing, and I kind of want the consistency, so we're going to do that. Live. I'll use an underscore. Live output. That way we have consistency across everything. It's one of those things that like probably doesn't matter at the end of the day, but I just want it to be like that. Live outputs. In case you all haven't noticed, my whole life is just a lot of minutia. This is what we do. Live underscore output. This is one of those things where I like the way it looks the other way better, but I think the consistency is a better choice. When I'm like in a hurry to find something, the consistency is going to help me find it. Live output. Okay, let's double check these, make sure they're using the right sources. They're using the capture sources. We also don't need to be duplicating the webcam shadow because that will make it get heavier, and I don't want that. So we're just gonna set these to none because they shouldn't be there. I wish I could copy position from one to another. I wish I could click like copy and move the position from like 5 to 2 or something. That'd be real nice. But I'm getting nitpicky there for sure. And I gotta be careful about not being too nitpicky about stuff that like nobody but me uses. Well, I'm sure other people use it, but it's a fairly, there's a lot less people for sure than like your typical user. Okay, so I want this one to now be live output plugin tank. Live output plugin tank, which also means we need to reset up some things here. We need to go to our multi-view and get rid of that. So let's, you know, I should have put this down at the bottom of all of them. We're gonna go fix that real quick while I'm thinking about it. And that's my boy for after over there on the pipes. Song came out great. You feel similarly about coding? Honestly, like what I do for stream stuff is much more like coding than it is like playing music. It's really weird, but it's definitely more like coding than playing or than like working on music or lighting. Like it's a much more like coding type approach to things for the most part. Can't think of any reason I would ever want anything over the webcam, so we're gonna set it up that way on all of these final outputs. That just makes sense in the long term. Just because I know that I don't want any layer. This works like Photoshop layers, but it's just like arranged backwardsly. So the ones on top are at the bottom of the stack and the ones at the bottom are on the top of the stack. And I can't think of any reason I would ever want a screen or something to be sitting up above the webcam. So we're gonna set the webcam at the bottom for every single one of these. I think that just makes more sense. HD60S, man, I'm considering moving those around, but I'm not gonna do it. Alright, let's look at our multi-view. We already did that one. Now we need to change this, so we need a new capture. So we want to set this input to a transparency. You're basically writing script writing and giving it rules and stuff. Oh, you want to see? Oh, let me show you. If I go into my settings here, let's see if the, oh great, and now the settings window doesn't pop up. Of course it's a different window in vMix. Hold please. It's because, so there's a good reason for it, and that reason is that, let me add it in so you can see. Wait a minute, did I lose the, oh no, okay. The reason is that if you don't capture it in specific ways, it like, we'll grab it in ways that are odd and do kind of like the infinite regress thing, and we definitely don't want that. I don't want it to run into infinite regress. And so I have to capture the screen in very kind of specific ways to make sure that that doesn't happen. Maybe it's vMix 4. Doesn't look like it's vMix 4. It's not. But it ends up being a little bit confusing. You got to be a little bit careful, just because yeah, you can quickly lose track of everything. I guess. Well, maybe the only way to do this is with like a display capture. See what I mean? How it like just did the infinite regress thing? That's what I'm talking about. But I actually think that ultimately that might be important. I don't know. I have to think about that, because I also like might want to like do something like throw up something else on this screen. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no. The vMix capture is capturing that. If I just did like a desktop capture, if I pulled up something else, you would see that, and I may not want that. I may want, you know, you to still see vMix while I'm looking at something else. But if I go into my oh, I can't show you the settings. At any rate, if I were able to show you the settings, you'd see just like an ungodly amount of actually, we could probably do it like this. I'll just set it up as a desktop capture. Yeah, see how we like lose the deal. Oh wait, is that supposed to be? That's super weird. Now the desktop capture won't actually show me vMix. Super weird. Okay, let's find the right thing here. Was it vMix 3? But anyway, I have like hundreds and hundreds of, like, there's probably like 1,000 shortcuts that are MIDI controlling all of the different camera switches and things. It's just, it's a buttload of automation. It's really kind of stupid. Oh, I already have the desktop capture here. Maybe I can do this. Can I? Nope, that doesn't work either. We'll call this like vMix. We'll call this captures vMix desktop. Not my ideal way to do this, but we'll move that over here. So if I go to the live outputs and I change the vMix one, we'll go to the multi-view and change it to the vMix desktop. Now you should, now obviously we don't need the vMix options thing, so maybe I will just go ahead and run with an actual desktop capture. That may be simpler. It's changing my screens on me again. But here, I'll show you what I mean. If I pull up my settings window, you can see it running away forever. But if I go to the shortcuts, like, these are all of the programmed shortcuts that run all of the different various elements of the camera switching side of things for one of the 3 camera computers. It's a lot of scripting. It's a lot of scripting. Yeah, I think I will just bounce back and forth between these. It's not... No, don't copy settings. It's not ideal, but it'll work. We want vMix, and we'll turn vMix options back on. That way I can kind of shuffle back and forth. Yeah, I know. So, and that's why I'm building it the way that I am, just because it is like... It's super uncomfortable to look at when it does that. It just makes me feel kind of nauseous. Well, in this case, it's not like the computer actually doing it. It's just like a desktop capture doing it. It's kind of hard to explain, like, because what I'm using, like, this program has a thing called NDI and desktop captures. So I'm basically using a network plugin to capture all of these screens across my network, rather than using physical capture cards. With a couple of the screens I am using physical capture cards, but some of them are network desktop captures. Okay, plugin tank. So now I need to go over here and go to captures. We need to create a new one. So we're gonna add an input, which it's apparently not showing you. Did I forget to turn on the vMix options? No, I didn't. Huh. Well, anyway, I'm just gonna add this real quick and then I'll show you, but we'll go to the NDI. Basically, I have a program running on each computer that allows me to desktop capture whatever's going on that computer. So you see this one that came up, this NDI plugin tank right here. This is a Windows virtual machine that's running on one of my brother's computers out in the server room, and it just has this plugin right here, this vMix. Oh, I can't actually control it from there. I can show you, and I can cycle there with a different screen. But this desktop capture deal right here is what allows me to capture the screen over the network. A whole bunch of nonsense. So we're gonna rename this. This is captures, and we're gonna name it plugin tank. And I'm actually going to give this one a parentheses NDI so I remember that it's a network capture and not a physical capture. Because so far we've been using desktop captures and physical captures. This is my first NDI capture. So now we go back to live plugin, or live output plugin tank, and go to the multi-view and change this one to captures plugin tank. Turn it on. We might actually get to some light writing at some point in time. Who knows? Captures. Let's move this so it stays in the correct numerical order. We're definitely listening to this record a second time. This is my first time, like, oh, sorry, lost my feed again. I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know what's switching to that. I think it's because I'm gonna test something. I think it's happening when I'm shuffling the order of things. It probably like moved the number that my thing was and forgot what it was for a second. Also, am I like losing the start menu bar on this capture? I guess that's not the end of the world. This turned into a much bigger project than I thought it was going to. But I guess it makes sense. Okay. So now we're going to do the overlay computer. This is another composite webcam shadow. This is another network desktop capture. We'll set that to none. We can set this to a transparency. Excuse me. So this is going to be live underscore output overlay comp. And then we need to go to captures, add input. We're going to add NDI desktop capture. You can't see this, but you'll see the screen here in a moment. Where's overlay display 1? There we go. So you can see the source just popped up here. I gotta watch out because it's gonna switch on me again. Okay, at least I know when it's happening now. Okay, I think I want to do overlay comp. I need to try and like give myself some kind of semblance of organization here. So this is going to be captures, overlay comp, and this is a network desktop interface. And the nice thing is now that I've got getting all this built, like I can just like use my controller to bounce around the different things to show everybody whatever it is that I'm working on. I had originally kind of worked on using like a tiled thing where all the screens were on the tile at the same time, but everything gets so small you can't really tell what's going on if I do that. So I kind of gave up on that particular approach. So now we want to throw in overlay comp. And if we check it out, if we go to overlay comp, you can see it's got the runaway there because we're looking at a different computer. So this is the second one. This is where I do all of the different like where you can add like overlay effects. So if I wanted to whatever, it's all doable here. There's not much that it's doing in this particular session, but so as weird as that is, even though we're looking at the same computer or same program, this is two computers running the same program for different purposes. Okay. What else do we need here? Slobs. This one's going to be gross. Okay. So we want to turn it off. So let's set it to transparency. Also, let's go change the webcam shadow to be way further down the list. And let's capture slobs. NDI. I really wish there was a good way to do this with slobs, but I think it did. Well, I wonder if I capture like Streamlabs OBS itself. If I do that, nah, it still does the infinite regress. There's no way around it, so we're not going to do slobs itself. I think we're going to just grab that screen. That way I can at least show off anything else that's happening over there. Let's grab the display. Then it at least has like the Windows bar and everything. Let's rename it. This is Captures. Slobs Compy. And it's an NDI. I'm gonna lose my screen there because that's a dumb system. Do I want slobs to be late in the chain, or do I want to keep like all of the video stuff kind of next to each other? I do need to rebuild. I wonder if I can import all of this. I probably can't. I'd have to rebuild it in the other program or the other project. There's never a good way to do this. Always a pain in the ass. Don't mind me while I think. This is why we have music playing in the back, so I have a moment to like understand what it is that I'm trying to do. Okay, let's finish up here. Capture slobs. We can reorganize it later. Okay, this all worked out pretty well in terms of numerical order. I'm happy about that. That's good. So let's go back to our live outputs. We have Chamsys now. What was I grabbing here? This is already grabbing a capture. Magic Hue, where's that at? Capture. It must be here in my live outputs somewhere. Where is it hiding? What in the world? 17. Where the hell's 17? There's 16. Super confused. Where's 17? I don't see a 17. It's like hidden all sources. 17. Maybe this is just not in a bucket. Maybe I couldn't see it because it's not in a bucket. Let's stick it in the captures bucket. That's got to be what the deal was. I have to think that that's what was going on there. Captures Magic Hue, and I think this one is a this one's tight VNC. It's not an NDI. It's running over tight VNC. So many different like methods for capturing screens in this setup. Multi-view. Okay, so let's hit none. Let's move that. Webcam shadow. Okay. So now if we go look at Chamsys, we should be able to see what's going on in Chamsys. Cool. That's good. Then we have this one, light writing. This is clearly not what I had initially intended, so we need to change this. But at least we're at the point now where we just need to organize a little bit. So we need to change some of these. We don't want the live outputs. We want to get the HD60S. And I want to remove the webcam shadow and move it down to here. And then we want to get that to none. And this should be Audio Desktop 2, which is the HD60 Pro. And apparently I need to go resize it. What was the positioning? Is that the end of the record? That might be the end of the record. It is. We're going to listen to it one more time before we move on. Actually, you know what? Let's go see if we can find for After Ever's record. He put this out a while ago. Sorry, I know you can't see what I'm doing right now, but we got Down Not Out. We're going to give this a listen. Another one of my good friends here on Twitch. If you don't follow either Otherglow or For After Ever, I highly recommend it. They both have really cool live music sets with, you know, full-on lighting, multicam, all the fun stuff. All right, I'm going to get a notepad file here. So we have 0.343. I need to write these settings down. Minus 0.6596. And then -6 repeating, or -0.6 repeating. And then we're going to crop Y1 at 40. And we're gonna crop. That's it. That's the only thing we're cropping. Okay. Let's go back to our multi-view, and we want to go to number 2 and repeat these settings. So we have 0.343. We want to pan it to minus 0.6596 and minus 6 repeating. I'll have to go double check and make sure that this is actually where I want this to be here in a second. Okay. Let me blow it up and take a look at it because I feel like I'm not happy with it. I feel like it needs to pan over on the X value just a little bit. It's hard to tell, but let's try like 0.65. 0.66. Is that like getting cropped somehow? Let me blow it up again so I can see it in better detail. I think that looks good. I just want to bring it down just a touch more so that I don't have the border on the bottom. It's so hard to tell. Wait, I pulled up the wrong thing. I'm an idiot. Let's try like 0.67. How's that look? That looks better, except for I don't like that we're like missing it on just one side. So let's make that like 0.68. There, too far. 7.5. This thing is like super touchy. It's crazy how touchy. Oops, wrong button. You all can't see what I'm trying to do here. I'm just looking to get like that bottom to be missing here. I think that looks okay. I can't completely tell. It's a little smaller than I would like for it to be. I'm kind of tempted to crop out the the other bit there, but I'm just not sure. For capture, if I can just have, yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. It'll look better. So we're actually gonna change this. We're gonna do composites. I'm gonna add an input, and actually let's just add a new blank input, which is gonna break my shit. So this is gonna be composite. Man, that's some grimy guitar. I love it. This is going to be capture shadow added. So we're going to build this all in here. So let's go into our multi-view. First thing we want to do is get our white color, because we're going to build on top of that. And then we want to grab the HD60 Pro, but we want that to be one up actually, and then we're going to grab the drop shadow and put it below. So now let's go in here to our positions. We'll zoom capture down a bit. I need to blow this up so I can see it a little bit better. So let's do this at like 0.75. We'll do it at about 75. Actually, let's just do like 80%. Let's start cropping. I can't tell if there's actually any white there or not. So first things first. Shit. Let's change this to a black real fast so I can trim the borders. This way we can hack our way around this shit. 10 pixels is maybe a bit much. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. It looks like 2 pixels gets rid of it, so I'm going to go with 3 just to be on the safe side. 1917 to get rid of that. Let's crop our Y2 values to like 1070, 1060. Okay, 1050 is too far. 1054 looks just about right. Oops. That's, damn it. What was this, like 1917? There we go. I want to crop my Y1 value here. 60 is not enough. 65 is enough. 63 is not enough. So let's go with 65. I think that should be good. Let's go to our multi-view, make this white again. And now let's position the shadow. So we want to zoom the X value here. And then zoom down the Y value maybe. I don't know if that's what I want to do or not. I can just grab it and reposition, right? That looks pretty good. I think that's okay. It's maybe a little bit bigger than I would ultimately really want it to be, but maybe it'll look better if I offset it a little bit. And then let's zoom the Y down just a little bit so we can make it a little bit smaller. What if we make that like 90? Actually, it should be the other way, all things considered, shouldn't it? With where we're putting it, it should probably go that way. Let's pan this like minus 0.5. That's way too much. 0.05 is what I meant. 0.01. Wow, that really pans hard. Okay. So that's good. Now we want to go ahead and go back to our multi-view, turn the white off. You can't tell it, but... So now if we go into our light riding deal here, instead of capturing the HD60S, we're going to grab the capture shadow added. Oh, but I need transparency. So how do I achieve transparency? Let's see. I think the answer to that is to go to my composite and... Is it Luma key? Yeah, just turn up the Luma key. Haha, transparency, there we go. So now we can reposition this a little bit more freely. So let's go ahead and reset all of our values here. We don't want to do any cropping. And we can zoom it down to like 0.5 maybe. Actually, let's do like 0.6 because I want it... No. Maybe 0.5 is right. And then we'll just do down into the corner like minus 0.5. Minus 0.5. That's not going to get me there, is it? 0.62. Looks like it corners it pretty nicely. Maybe 6.1's enough. It's not enough for the bottom, but it's enough for the side. Now here's a question. Should I build this as a secondary overlay so that I don't have to do it twice? I feel like I should. I feel like I should just go ahead and do that. So we're going to write these values down. We're going to do 0.5 and then pan X is minus 0.61. Pan Y is minus 0.62. We don't need any cropping. And we're going to go create a new composite. Somewhere. Let me tell you something. It's really cool having talented friends. I like it a lot. Seeing the like music industry professionals come and try and do streaming compared to what my friends are doing, it's embarrassing watching them try, to be completely honest. Composites. This is capture, reposition. Actually, we'll call this reposition 1 because I might want to have it in different positions for different things. Call it reposition underscore 1. We might end up with more of them than just the one, so we'll find out. Let's go into our multi-view and we'll grab the shadow added. And we probably also need to come in here and luma key this again, now that I think about it. And now we want to do 0.5, and we want to pan minus 0.61 and minus 0.62. I don't know if this is going to be like a perfect analog to my camera though, so maybe didn't do this the best way. We'll find out. So let's go into our multi-view here. Let's reset all of overlay 2's positions. And we're going to throw in the reposition, which didn't show up for some reason. Why not? Why for you not there? Is there something repositioning it still? Let's go look. None. What if I do capture reposition 1? Interesting. So why is that not showing up? Is it because of the luma key maybe? I guess it's theoretically possible it's because of the luma key. Also, this doesn't look like what I want. We want to reset that so we're capturing the full desktop. Maybe I pulled the luma key too hard. Let's go look. Let's grab the composite. Let's bring that down so I can see. Interesting. So it's there for sure, but it's not grabbing the camera here. Why not? Am I not able to double nest like that? I definitely should be able to. Let's try a different one. Oops. Nope, none of them are working. Maybe I need to do it as a virtual rather than bringing it in as a multi-view. Maybe the fact that I'm bringing it in as a multi-view and then doing the luma key is also keying out what's there. So let's try this. Let's close that input, and we're going to create a virtual of this. And we'll call this capture shadow resized _1. And now if we reposition it, we should be good. 0.5, 0.62. It would also help if I was working on the actual source itself. 0.5, 0.61, 0.62, although those should be negative values. But yeah, if you were curious, this has definitely turned much more into coding and a little bit less of making music. Okay, so let's go to our live outputs and check this out now. How about now? Hey, that's the shadow added one. I need the resize. There we go. Virtual input was the answer. Although now I need to do that again, which is going to break my shit. Okay, so virtual inputs for the win. I learned something. I'm wondering if that is something that I can... No, I don't have a way of doing that with the multicam shots because I can't just do a virtual input. But now we should have this fancy version of... Let me get rid of the notepad file here. But now if I go over to this light writing cue, we should have a fancy little thing with Reaper having that. But I'm going to make a second one. So we're going to call this light writing _ Reaper, because I need a light writing for with Magic Q as well. So we need to add input We need to add a new blank input. Let me go back to vMix. So we're going to call this, oh, this needs to be live output, and I need to change that on the other one too as well. This is light writing Chamsys. I don't know why, I don't know what I just did to, oh, I went into anamorphic, weird. We definitely want it to be widescreen. So let's go to the multi-view. Obviously the first thing we want is to add the camera. You can see how this stuff gets big and convoluted real quick. Real quick. Also, it's like doing some weird looking stuff on the capture there. We want this to be Magic Hue, and then we want to have, so for anybody who's not familiar with like a lot more coding type stuff, the reason I did it this way is so that when I bounce back and forth between them, the size of capture is the exact same size on both screens, and if I go change it, I just change it in the virtual input, and it'll update in both of the other cues that are using it, and that way I don't have to update it multiple times, is kind of the idea behind doing things this way. But need to change some naming schemes here. This is a live output. Also, I don't know why I went into camel case there for like 2 seconds. Can I hit right buttons? I need to find some way to like get an API or something that could jack into Amazon Music and let everybody know what it is that I'm listening to. That'd be cool to have. I might look into figuring that out here in the future. Live output, because I'm planning on doing a lot more of these, like how the sausage is made streams. I really need to reorganize all my buttons, which means I really need to rebuild this in the other setup as well, even though it's going to be a huge pain in the butt. You like when you use the var code to call out colors across multiple things? Yeah, it's basically exactly that. All the angles. Yeah, right now what I'm working on creative is I'm setting up, I got my new lighting thing today, so I wanted to start writing lighting automation, but I realized that all of my desktop captures were, do I need more screens? The funny thing is that I'm actually getting by with a lot less screens than I potentially should need. I have 4, but I'm running like 10 computers with them, so I'm running a whole bunch of network, like, you know, like looking at like some of these, it's a bunch of like network desktop captures that's actually getting me to be able to show off everything that's going on. But I'm having to go back and kind of reorganize because I hadn't thought through just how nightmarish this was all going to be. Yeah, you have one you rarely use. That makes sense. Mine all get used fairly regularly. And then also one thing you might notice is that like I have a camera that's up here in the program window. If I cut to output view, it'll go to that camera because that's what's in like the output window of my program. But I have like a secondary outputs feature that I'm using to set any one of these to like the output. So that's how I'm getting to like show all the screens without like bricking the views or making it so I can't work on anything. Pretty much gets used when you watch movies from your bed. That makes sense. Yeah, figuring out how to read chat from a distance is kind of a tricky thing. I need to change the vMix input real quick to be the desktop version, which means I also need to change that. I need to turn the options deal off because I want you to be able to see this. We're going to go and add some, it's a 55-inch TV, damn. So like I was showing before, these are all the shortcuts that run all of the MIDI and other type shortcuts that run everything for the cameras. So we need to add some new ones here. So yeah, and this is just one of the 3 video computers. The other 2 have decent layers of automation for themselves as well. So first things first, we need to get our Stream Deck software up. I need to reorganize all of these buttons. Drop in a vMix shortcut, and we're gonna do, this is gonna be light writing 2. I need to make that text a little bit smaller. Let's go like there. You got most of your new PC parts? Nice. That means you're going to be able to get that stream going on. You said you're doing that Wednesday, right? Is the plan? I need to make this light writing 1. Okay, so now we have our button. Missing the video card. Ah, Thursday, bummer. Oh, CPU, cooler, and case fans, no ETA. I had to wait a really long time. I got some Noctua fans for all my computers, and I had to wait a long time for them too. Which I feel like I just want to buy like 6 more of those just to have as like a backup in case. Yeah, Noctua is the shit, dude. I've been more than happy with every single Noctua fan I put. I also got like Noctua heatsinks for a lot of my CPUs as well, since I'm overclocking a couple of them. I wanted to make sure that they were like well cooled. The only bummer is this computer we're looking at here, vMix. The Noctua cooler is just a tiny bit taller than my 4U case for it, so I can't put the lid on the case, which kind of sucks. Alright, so if you can see me over here on the camera up in the top right, process here is you hit the Stream Deck button, and I have to hold it down because I want it to be on the, like if I let go, see how it like registers as the up version. I want it to change when I hit the button down. So I want to set output and set output full screen, and we want to set that to live output light writing Chamsys, which I'm going to change that. We're going to call this light writing 2. Light 2. I don't want this to be local to this preset only. But we're going to change the names of these now that I think about it. Instead of light writing Reaper, since the shortcuts are named light writing 1 and light writing 2, I'm going to keep that consistent here and make these 1 and 2 as well. I've learned that consistency is very important with naming schemes. Or so it seems. So I don't have my break video. I might have to... The NHD 15S for the cooler and 2 Noctua AF A12x25 for the case bands. Nice. That's nice. That's going to be nice and quiet, which is super important when you're doing audio work for sure. So if I did this right, we should be able to look at Reaper with capture going, and then Chamsys with capture going. Oh, I need to fix that though, don't I? So what is this pulling from? This is pulling from the Magic Q deal, so I think I'm gonna go fix that in the actual Magic Q capture. Let's go back to vMix. It's hard to remember to make sure to show everybody what I'm doing. We want to resize this. What's going on with the positioning here? Is it like goofy, or is it just because I'm capturing this over VNC, so it's a little bit different than usual? Because I have like a VNC connection to 3 different computers from this computer, so I can actually run everything. And then I have a VNC connection from this computer as well. So I have 4 different VNC connections right now to remotely control the stupid computers. Amazon felt bad, so they they gave you the $60 promo. Nice. So let's try zooming this in now. Let's that's too far. 1.1, that's almost right. 1.08, 1.09 looks like it's gonna do the trick. Thinking that'll go to a Stream Deck. Very nice. We'll pan that just a little bit, and then now we need to stretch it to the right. 0.06, 0.08. 0.085. Looks like it's filling out the screen nicely now. Let's hit the save button. I haven't done that for a minute. But now if I go back to light writing 2, it should pull, and Magic Q should be full screened. Very cool. Everything looks good. Next Twitch payout plus coupon is Stream Deck XL. Nice. Yeah, that's what I'm using. If you can see here, I can switch over to the not that one, the desk view. I've got the Stream Deck XL right here. Like, you can use the page features as well to get a whole lot out of them, so super useful. I'm gonna head over to Slobs real quick. Like Stream Decks are the coolest thing ever. I have a plan for it. Nice. Yeah, I have one over at my keyboard console as well, just because I need to have it for controlling stuff. when we're playing. That's not what I wanted to have happen. I need to put this into console mode. This is super... OBS is just such a pain in the dick. I so much prefer vMix. If it weren't for like the ability to add color correction, there's no way I'd still be using OBS. No way I'd still be using it. So we need to add a source of... I can't really see what you're all seeing, so hopefully upgrade your 2009 Samsung monitor. That makes sense. I'm probably going to order... this is slobs. I don't like either of them, really. Like, I really... Compared to vMix, neither of them is good. But they just do one thing that vMix can't do, and that's add PNG LUT files for color correction. So I keep slobs and OBS around for that reason. This is BRB. Yeah, I mean, I can do... one thing that's kind of nice if I go over here to vMix, though, like, I do have the ability on my cameras to pull up, like, they have some pretty advanced color correction and color keying. So, like, I could, you know, dump out reds, dump out greens, dump out blues, blah, blah, blah. So I have a lot of control in that regard, but I can't, like, on-the-fly MIDI automate LUTs. And so that's, like, the big thing that I use OBS for, is for MIDI automating LUTs. Streaming assets, let's go back over to slobs. I really need to reorganize these buttons. It's just going to take me a bit to do it. Dude, MIDI automating is like, it's my whole life. Everything I do is MIDI automation. It's so crazy how much I can do. Where did I put this stupid thing? Videos, break message, there we go. Restart playback when source becomes active. So let's see if this is going to work. MIDI automation, yeah, it's huge. It really does. Just like, it changes the whole world for me. Like, it makes everything possible. Give me 2 seconds here. I'm gonna make sure. Is this on the last track of the record? Nope. Cool. That's good. So I'm gonna hit the break and I'll be back in just a moment. Oh, that's not full screen yet. Transform it. Fit to screen. There we go. Be right back. Oh, I hit the wrong mute button. And you can't hear me because I didn't unmute my mic. I just realized I did something stupid you couldn't hear for After Ever going during the break. I'm sorry about that. I'm going to fix that real quick while I'm thinking about it. There's so many... Oop, that's not what I wanted to do. Undo? Nope. Man, there's just so many ways to mess something up doing all this, right? We're going to call this BRB. It just seems like no matter what I do, I'm going to end up like messing something up and doing something dumb. So I want to mute that. Regular OBS doesn't have an undo. Dude, I know I've been helping a friend set up in vanilla OBS since he's doesn't have NVENC encoders, and I've noticed some drifting issues with videos on slobs. Also, slobs in general is just kind of a pain in the ass, but I'm getting him set up with vanilla OBS, and that's one of those things too. It's just like, how in the world do they not have fucking undo? Like, how was that not the first function that they built into the freaking program, right? Like, that should have been day one, first thing they added. So let's go back here. Let's give this a try. Like, I can't understand why there wouldn't be an undo function in any program. That makes no sense. We're gonna test this and see if it worked. I think the audio stayed this time, right? You can hear me, you can hear the music. It looks like everything's good. We need to fit that to screen. Okay, transform. Stretch to screen? No. It's doing... Oh, never mind. I was on the wrong fucking source. God, I hate the way OBS thinks. Like, I've been using this program. I've been using OBS forever, and I still get extremely irritated with the way it tries to do things. It just makes no freaking sense sometimes. What I like about vMix over here... I don't know if you're super familiar with vMix Creative, but what I really like about it is that it thinks like an ATEM switch in a way, but it does what ATEM does, but in like a more modernized version of it that lets me have the flexibility of what computers can do. So, oh, okay, gotcha. Well, an ATEM switch is basically like a source, you know, like each one of these I can bring in sources, like, and I can have them in a preview in a program window. With an ATEM switch, you get like a little bit of super sourcing and keying it, but with this, you get a lot more flexibility with that. So, like, for example, when I was working on this this capture here, I can capture the screen. But then I also built a composite where I built it where if I go bring it up, you can see like I added a drop shadow to it, and then I bring that into a virtual where I move it, and now I can put it in my live things to where I have it here and here without having to update it multiple times, because it's like coding. It thinks in terms of like, basically I'm variabilizing it in a way. I'm setting that as a container and calling it rather than actually doing it every single time. So yeah, I know it's stupid in here. I'm aware, and we're about to get to the fun stuff. I've been working for an hour and a half now, and I'm just about ready to finally start being able to work on what it is that I wanted to work on. Although as I'm looking at this particular source, it's ugly as sin, so we might have to fix this real quick. Well, but if I'm working in Capture, I might actually need some of the drop-down menus and stuff, so maybe we won't do that. We're just going to change the name to Live Outputs. Amazon is kind of clipping out my audio a little bit, I feel like. We're going to turn Amazon Music down a little bit. I might hit up some of my friends. Well, no, actually, I take that back. I was going to say, like, it would be kind of cool to get, like, higher quality versions of them to play on my stream. But if I'm going to play them on stream, I'd rather play them on, like, Amazon or Spotify and give them the plays and all that kind of thing. Because it's important. We all know it is. Reaper, MIDI. I don't know how to organize these exactly just yet. But it probably makes more sense to... Why Amazon Music over Spotify? Because I paid for Amazon Music 5 years ago or whatever, and I still have it, and I don't pay for Spotify. Simple as that. It's just a laziness thing. It's a pure laziness thing. I got it at one point, and I just don't want to change it. But so to give you an idea of what's powerful about the way this works, and you can do this in slobs too. It's just not as intuitive. But like in all of these scenes, if you see my camera down here in the bottom right-hand corner, those are all controlled by this this one composite scene. So if I were to go and let me shrink that down. If I were to go update this, oh, the uncovered cup next to my gear. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things that like I should probably get like some kind of covered cup for my coffee or something, but it's my coffee cup that I drink in every day. So The only thing that's really like there's really nothing in my immediate area right here except for the Chamsys controller. This is the Magic Q controller is the only thing that like I would actually be legitimately worried about. Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. Release those playbacks. But yeah, so the way the nesting works, if I were to go change this one scene, it would update. I try and be a little bit extra careful because I know how stupid I am. With that being said, like you never like fully know how stupid you're gonna be, right? So okay, let's go over to Chamsys and throw in this so you can see what it is that I'm working on. So now we can start working on what we actually came here to work on. Let's go over to our Q store. I still need to finish up making all of my color palettes. I still haven't finished that yet. I think I just released all playbacks, didn't I? So let's test all dims. Everything comes on. Now that I'm looking at it, it looks like there's a slight white edge over on the capture thing. I'm going to bring that back another pixel. So let's go back into the composite right here. I got to make sure and remember that I did it with a composite. So actually that's going to be in the shadow added one. Is that where I did the cropping? I got to try and remember where I did the cropping. Oh, it's probably in here, and it's probably just in the multi-view on position number 3. And there it is. Let's take like another pixel back there. Let's take a look at how that looks. Let's switch back over to our light writing 2. I don't feel like I see an edge there anymore, do you? I think that looks good. I get really anal about that. I hate it when I can see the edges of things. It really bugs me if it doesn't look clean and tidy. So let me get over to Magic Q. So what I'm working on now is I have this execute grid built so that I can start doing things like moving the positions of my lights. And I can change the speed at which they move. Or we could change, we can make it go real long. So this is stuff I've already gotten built. I've been working in Magic Q for a couple months now, building all of this stuff out. The lighting rig, all of it is just, yeah. My favorite part is this, like, the virtual room. I'm still amazed that that was even possible to do, like, to create a virtualized version of my room and do it. But so, and I can change the way it, like, so right here, it's like a right to left, the way they all move. Or I could set it to, like, 6 seconds and just set it to be, like, have them all move simultaneously together. But so here's the deal. Here's the hard part. Or I shouldn't say the hard part. Here's the boring part. Now what I need to do is go back and forth between Reaper here. I need one that's like Reaper and Magic Q, don't I? I might need to add one more scene here. But essentially what I need to do is in Chamsys, or in Magic Q here, I have right here, this is the view automation. So for every single thing that I want to cue off by MIDI, I need to like make a MIDI thing to tell it to cue that off of it. You just wouldn't know what to do. You wouldn't know the details of what to create. Dude, I have been running into that problem lately, to be completely honest. Like, I had this kind of like grand idea for this system, and I built it in a way that, like, I envisioned it like, what's a system that I could go completely nuts and not have any limitations, that I could do whatever it is that I wanted to do at any time. And I fairly well succeeded at it. I have the control to do almost anything I want to do. And now I have to make choices of what I want to do, and it's fucking terrifying. But yeah, so for every single one of these things in the execute grid, I need to go create a line item of a MIDI mapped automation to one-to-one match this, so that I can actually know what's happening. This is where things are going to get tricky. I'm going to have to make sure that I'm being smart to show everybody what's going on. But it is really cool. Like, I can test like just the mover dims. I have like my lighting setup that I do for when we're streaming games. I also have like chases built in here, so I can come down here. And now that I have this new lighting system, like, it's just going to be so much better. I might need to up the brightness on some of these chases now that I'm seeing them. Although it's hard to tell because I know let's actually like include one of them in the programmer and see what's In the effect line, it's only doing, no, it's doing 100%. Okay, real quick, we need to get some music going. We're gonna go listen through Other Glow's record again, because I really enjoyed it, and it's still pretty new to me. Which that was for After Ever. Gotta get going. Oh, no worries. It's gonna be a long process to get it there, but I'm excited about once it's there and I can start actually using this new system for the music streams. It's probably going to take me a couple weeks to fully implement it, but I did come up with a cool system of, I don't think you can really see it with the other camera, maybe if I like switch to just this, but like up in here, I have a DMX merge box. And so what that lets me do essentially is my old system hits that and this new system is going to hit that, and the merge box switches whichever one is sending it DMX data at the time. It'll switch over and let that one run the show. So essentially I can start writing all the new stuff without losing any of the old stuff. I can replace as I go without having to like lose months of work right off the bat. Like I do have to go back and replace it all, but I have time. So I'm pretty excited about that. Let's kick on test all dims. I think I probably want to kick on like just test move dims or something, but I want to make sure everything's working. It's been a minute since I've been in here working. Excuse me, ate too much. But you can see it's going to be real quick and easy for me to just like click on these and switch. So I'm really, really excited about that. Although I might make these into palettes, because if I make them into palettes, I could do like different things with them. Let's try that real quick. We're going to test this idea. I'm going to include that one into my programmer. I'm going to select all the lights and create a color palette. So we're going to do just a quick, oh, I already did this with Bubble Crab, didn't I? Okay, so we already have this. So if we click all, we should be able to use these to switch between color palettes. I might do all of this with color palettes instead of with cues. That might be a better way to go. Let's find out what we can do with our execute grid. Which, if that's the case, oh man, that's going to be a lot of MIDI automation though to make that work. That worries me. I don't need that. So what would I need to do here? I would have to have probably 2 MIDI channels for color, and I'd have to automate them separately. That's all kinds of gross. I could make one giant execute grid page, but that's gonna get real ugly to look at. Let's see here. What if I do like 12 by like 20? That's not too terrible to look at. Like I can probably live with that for color palettes. How many is that? 12 by 20? That's 220? 200. How many is that? I'm so bad at math. 12 times 20, 240. So since I'm using 10 of those for that, that's 230 color palettes. I should be able to live with 230 color palettes, I think. There's really kind of no reason that 230 color palettes shouldn't do me just fine. Do I really want to do it this way? Is it worth it? And actually, let's make the grid size 10 by. Let's do like 10 by 20. How's that look at? Like it's kind of ugly to look at, but I should still. Let's find out what it looks like to like actually look at it. We want to grab all. Wait a minute though. If I do it this way, then I don't know if effects will be able to overwrite color. Although I don't know that I'm going to do a ton of color effects. But if I do, I don't know if they'll overwrite it or not. And I'd kind of like to know that before I go in. But let's take a quick look at this. Let's copy all into our execute grid. Oops. Not Q Store. We want to go to layer 1. We want to copy all. into our execute grid here, and then let's go grab our first 2 color palettes here. So we want to copy aesthetic, and then we want to copy bubble crab, and we're just going to use these 2 as like a quick litmus test to see if this is how I want to do this or not. So what we're going to want to do then is assign special. I think we just want like timing. Maybe maybe for now let's just do like all busking, and I'll get rid of the ones that I don't want. Go for all busking. I mean, in some ways, like, my color effects are already right here, aren't they? Boy, this is really small and hard to read, though. Set the region. What happens if I do like a color flick? So does that do it based off of whatever's going on in here? It kind of does, doesn't it? If I do a white flick, that does... Oh, okay, so that kind of pushes white through everything. 2 color effects, which then I think I can go to my other execute grid page and choose my color effects. No, apparently not. I might have to include that in the programmer and tell it to pick from my soft palettes here. Let's find out about that. Which also, if I'm going to do it this way, I might rearrange it and have color before movers, because color is kind of a little bit more important. So I might move this to page 4 and put color on page 3. But then again, that may not be a good idea. Set color 1. How do I do this? 2 color effects. Can I just like include 2 color effects into my programmer? No. So I think that means what I would have to do in the execute grid is like grab everything and do let's see, let's copy white. I think we're going to be basically making like a secondary soft palette system here, I think. Copy red. I'm very much still learning all of this, so bear with me as guitar player guy works his way through understanding lighting systems. I certainly don't. So if I'm doing anything incredibly stupid, if anybody out there knows what they're doing with this stuff, feel free to let me know. So we run aesthetic. If we say set color 1 and choose red, and do set color 2 and choose orange, and now we do a 2 color effect. Now we get this red-orange effect. Okay. But it's doing some weird stuff with the movers for some reason. It's probably because of the way it's switching between, since they're not color mixing and they're switching, it's probably not getting there quickly enough. This is a cool effect though. And can I change it on the fly? So having the movers there is kind of a bad vibe. I want to have colors that are next to each other in the movers rotation wheel. So if we set color 2 to red, now it should switch white and red with the movers. But that's a pretty cool color effect. It's nice and synchronized. So I think doing colors this way might... Because other than this, I don't know that I'll run that many color effects. And if I do, I can build them and put them in here, can't I? What if we put it in parts? Okay, I can even run it in parts. Damn. Okay, that changes things a bit. That makes me much more feel like this is a good plan. It doesn't do exactly what I would like for it to do. What if we set up a 3 color effect? What if we make color 3 the orange? Set color 3 to orange. So the movers are going to do some weird stuff. maybe the best course of action here is to leave the movers out of the color effect. But I don't have any way of doing that. Actually, separate regions might do the trick here. What if we did this with a separate set of regions? What if we came over here and did another execute grid? Let's go with, do I have a group that's like everything but the movers? Probably want to make one, so let's do this. Let's view heads. Let's get the movers out of here. What's the way to do this? I apparently clicked wrong buttons here. View groups. Boom. Not Alt. I swear it should just be like Shift. Okay, it's just Shift. So we're going to get rid of all the mini gobos. Man, I really wish my movers were color mixing. That would make this so much easier. So we're going to save this as... we're going to call it all no movers. And I might want to rearrange my my groups again. So we'll copy that group into a new execute grid. I think I'm finally starting to understand this fucking program. So then we could do the assign special and do all busking. Where you at? All busking. And then we can go over here and do all no movers, copy, and we'll copy all of these color palettes here. And then we can bring them over here, click that, put this into a region. Like I said, if somebody knows that I'm doing this like super wrong, feel free to let me know. Set color to, and then we could run 2 color effects. Okay, so this does work. It does run independent of the other region that I have running colors. Cool. So that changes things a bit. That actually changes things quite a bit. Because what that means is we're going to want to get rid of oops. Clear that. I didn't mean to clear the... Anyway, let's remove all of the effects. Remove... Let's see here. Trying to decide what busking stuff I need here. I might keep the tap rate. The tap rate might go away, but is this like a global tap rate? Yeah, it's a global tap rate, so that can go away. I already have a global tap rate. Which let's... Oh, I haven't set up the MIDI automation for that. Let's do that real fast before I forget. Macro, we want to insert automation. Type is MIDI note CC. We want note on, and the note is note 0 on channel 1. And this function is going to be execute, activate, and we want page 1, global tap, and this is tap tempo, and then we want to make a second one. MIDI note CC, this one's going to be, oh, it didn't take. MIDI note CC, this one's a note off message. And we want the note to be 0 on channel 1. We want to make sure never to leave it as channel 0. Channel 0 bad. And we want execute release. And same one, execute page 1, button 1, tap, tempo, release. And so now that we have those macros set up, if I come over here and hit play in Reaper, we should see the tap tempo start updating itself. And what do you know? There we are, 120 BPM. God, that's fucking amazing. Fucking amazing. Oh man, that was causing me so many untold headaches when I was trying to hack my way around it. Like, I'm pissed that I had to shell out a bunch of cash for that USB dongle, but god damn, is that so much easier. So much easier. How am I going to do this? Because I want to have the flexibility to add color palettes if I want to. So I'm tempted to take color palettes and work backwards with them. No, that's not a good idea. But I don't know how many they're going to be. Maybe if I set aside, like, let's go back to our execute grid. Trying to think through here. So we have our main page here. Then we have our soft palettes, which honestly, this may not even be super necessary anymore. So for now, I'm not even going to bother writing this automation. I'll just write the gobo wheels into this and leave this alone for now, because I mean, I might end up using it, but I think that there's a very good chance that, like, these don't get used anymore. Because all of the different effects, I think I have new ways of running them, which sucks because I put a lot of time into automating out those soft palettes. Oh, I gotta go write a MIDI block for every single one of these fucking boxes. That sucks. It's gonna take forever. Are these still working, man? I kind of want to put these in the positions deal. Like, I kind of want to just accept less positions. How many would I need to give up? How many in my grid would I need to give up? Not that many. This is not going to look as organized as I would really like for it to. It's going to be a little bit messy to look at. But I think I might try and just bring it all in on one. Like, all of those positions are more than enough. I feel like I'm just being a bit bitchy if I think I'm going to be using more than that. That's a lot. And I really don't have that many deals here. Boy, but I'm really not giving myself a lot of room to grow, am I? I need to think through this. What's my page size? 10 by 13. What does that come out to? 10 times 13 is 130. It means I can give myself one more row and try and be careful about not overdoing it. Because that only loses me 3. That would gain me 7 cells before I hit my 127 limit. Actually, one more than that because of the all movers group. So that gets me a couple cells back. So let's do that. We're going to change the grid size to 10 by 14. This is going to be a really big show file when I'm done with it. I'm glad I have backup systems. So let's clear that. We want to move. Dude, come on. Stop it. I hate this little button. I really wish I had like a real controller to do this with. So if I lose 5 cells, if I'm assuming I have 10 by 13, right? At 10 by 13, that's 130. So that's only 3 more cells than I get completely. So these 3 cells right here can't get used. That leaves me with 2 cells left. I think we just assume that these 2 cells could end up being something else. Man, it had to be 6. Why'd it have to be 6 for this stupid... you know what? Here's what we're going to do. You ready for this? We're going to get rid of 2 of the shake ones because the flower one, I don't like the flower one anyways. And the ooze one is also stupid. So we're going to get rid of those. They're just going away. Oops. Like, I'll never use them, so there's no point in having them. Just no point. And then we're gonna make our grid 1 bigger. 10 by 15. And now we have all of our mover controls here on 1 page. And I like that. I like that a lot. Much better. So let's clear this ugliness. Let's clear region. Reset the region. Okay, so now we should be able to set it to 4 seconds, change position. There they go. Very cool. God, that looks cool. We can change it to spotlights, which these are way brighter than they are in real life for sure. I should turn those down to get a feel for, well, maybe when they're in a blinder like that, maybe they are pretty bright. So if I'm at 10 by 15, am I overdoing this like by a ton now? 10 times 15 is 150. But 5 of them aren't being used, so we can lose 5. And then we lose a little bit of potential automation for positions, but I don't necessarily need to automate all the positions. So I think this is the way to do this. I wish I could name my execute grid pages. That'd be real nice. That'd be real nice if I could. But I think that this works. I don't want to do color before because I think these color palettes are gonna, now that I'm planning on doing that with color palettes, I think that's gonna get real gross real quick. And I'm really kind of considering just getting rid of these soft palettes now. Here's what we're gonna do. What's my grid size? 17 by 11. We're gonna bring this back a ways. We're gonna set up a grid here. We're gonna set it up 17 by 11. 17 by 11, and paste all of these in here. So we'll go ahead and build these. I don't think I'm gonna end up using them, but we're gonna build them anyways, just so that like if I change my mind later, they're still here. I feel safer that way. Build all my soft palette regions. Okay. So now we can just go ahead and nuke all of that. We're gonna remove all of that and clear all of these regions. So I think the first thing we're going to set up, I think the last thing we're going to do is color palettes. We'll do color effects first and then color palettes last. I'm just trying to decide if there's anything else that I'm going to do in the execute grid before I get to colors. I don't want to have to go back and change all of that though. I really don't want to have to go back and change all of that. So 10 by 15, we're going to change this grid to 10 by 15. And then real quick, let's do this. So we're going to name this as stream 2021 underscore v 2.1, because I think that we're moving on to like a new part of this now. So we're going to move on to version 2.1 now. I just want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. I want to think through all of the organization before I get into like just years of MIDI mapping. I just don't want to deal with that. I've made that mistake too many times in my life. Copy those. Okay. So these should still be working. They're just palettes that don't really matter where they are. So page 3, we're going to go ahead and wipe. And I think this is where we're going to put our color effects. I'm just trying to think. I don't think I'm going to do anything dimmer-wise with palettes, because if I do that, it messes with chases. Anyway, I'll be back in just a moment. Alright, so as I was thinking, there is a couple other things about this concept that I'm not super fond of at the moment. If I'm using palettes, if I add new palettes, I can't organize them the way I want, so that means I should probably try and come up with every single color cue I might want. Beforehand. So how's the best way to do that? Without like repeating automation a ton of times. Because I could do a page for each color. This is my solo that I got to play on other Glows track. Which I had a lot of fun doing. It's a fun track to play on. How do I want to do this? I may be like just very overthinking how many color palettes I need. Like I just want to have unlimited access to color palettes, but I don't see a good way to do that without having just a monstrously large grid and handling it over 2 separate MIDI channels. But I think that might be the way to do it. Because I don't think... Actually, let's try something here. We're gonna try... We're gonna run a test. Because this worked. So it's possible this might work too. So let's say we put on aesthetic, right? If I make a second grid... If I go to all... And let's just... Oh, I meant to... copy that. Let's copy all to a new execute grid, and then we copy some palettes here and put this in a actually, and then let's go ahead and set that region. Okay, so this does like take over. But now my big question is, do I need to have a separate set for all of these things? Because if I set it to 2 seconds and click Bubble Crab, it'll take 2 seconds to fade into the color, which is what I want. But if I leave that 2 seconds selected and click this one, it goes immediately. Okay, so that means if I do a second page of colors, I do need to have a second page or a second set of effects, and I would have to manage that through a new MIDI channel as well. That's gross. That's gross. I don't like that. He rediscovered 5-Iron Frenzy. Nice. I'm just trying to think through problems right here, Deanie. I'm trying to think of how I can... basically, I'm trying to future-proof myself is what I'm trying to do. I feel like I'm going to make a mistake in building this, and I'm going to build it in a way that like I'm going to run into a limitation down the road that I wish I didn't have. So I'm trying to think through all of that right now. Basically where I'm at is I want to be able to like change colors on the fly, but I like this being able to do it over time. Like right here I could be in red, although I don't love that the movers are affected by that, because that just doesn't look good. God, I wish those movers were color mixing, because being able to fade colors would be a cool new feature for the stream, and I want to be able to do it, but I don't have a good way of doing it without those mover lights being all shitty, unless I have a way to include, if I include it in the programmer. Can I look at the times? I can't. So how can I do this? If I hit that, it's going to fade to red. And the movers switch at a certain point in time. That's not a huge deal. The problem comes when, like, let's see here. The problem comes when I'm going from a larger range of colors. Let's grab all these palettes and drop them in here. Like, it's gonna get big real quick. So the big problem becomes like if I'm in red, right, and I want to boy, I wish it didn't break the region every time I added something. That kind of sucks. So if I'm in red and I want to go to blue, they're gonna go through a whole bunch of different color cycles along the way, which, I mean, honestly didn't look that bad. I guess there are things that could be worse, right? But my concern is that when I'm doing like multi-mixed stuff, it might not look as cool. You might end up with some colors that are less than ideal, but actually so far none of this looks all that bad. What happens if we set it to like out to in? That's pretty cool. Although I kind of wish it was like a center out, like it didn't quite center out the way I would have hoped it would have. It doesn't quite understand where they are without me going into this all group and organize them. Like I would have to go click them all in the order that I want it to take over. Which I guess is doable, but it's gonna take a while. Shit'll buff out. I guess it might look better if instead of putting it in like, oh wait, was it in normal? I mean, that's kind of cool. Doing these like wipe effects. Like, this is why I'm transitioning, because I want to be able to run these type of wipe effects. It would look especially cool if I did something like this. Like, let's go back to our Q storage and find a look that is similar to aesthetic. So we have aesthetic, and we have rad racer that's kind of like its antithesis in a way. They're kind of like polar opposites of each other. So if we were to copy, or no, I don't want to copy, I want to include rad racer. And then we go select all and record it in here. Record rad racer as a color palette. Now we can, I don't want to copy that, clear that. We want to select that, we want to copy the palette and move that over to my execute grid. Now that it's in my execute grid, I can go back and forth between aesthetic and rad racer over time. And since they're a similar color palette, we could create this like cyclorama kind of thing, right? I'd have to figure out exactly how to press the button, but you can get this like cyclorama kind of thing going on with these similar palettes, which I think could be really cool. Really kind of cool, like something different than just a dimmer effect all the time. Like having these wipe effects could be kind of fun. So I'm tempted to do that. Also, what happens if we set that to like no times? Oh, then it's just like immediate between the two. Okay. So if I set it to like 1 second, it's gonna like haul ass through it. Set it to 3 seconds. And then you get a little bit more of like the wipe thing going on. So I'm just trying to think through making sure that I have this all thought out before I do it. Ooh, actually, this could look really cool with like static color palettes, because you could do something like red, right? And you could just like wipe in between white and red and just do these like wipes through the system. That'd be pretty cool. Then wipe it into blue. Oddly enough though, or I think I would need to like somehow like really think through like a pattern and create it so that it like wiped in a very specific pattern, which I tried to do at one point in time and I failed miserably at it. I couldn't figure out a way to get it to pattern correctly. Do it in parts, and that's something a little bit different, but I think that this is a cool idea. I like this, but I don't like how small it's starting to get for readability. Like, if I'm at 10 by 20, these are just starting to get so small and hard to read. Here we can take 5 of these, and then we can move the times. What did I break right there? I just broke something. Can I undo that? No, you can't undo very well in this program. It really kind of sucks. Oh, was there just nothing there? Okay. Like, it's already so small that it's hard for me to keep tabs of what's going on. I can't imagine making this smaller. I could be less of a pain in the ass and like not feel the need to leave myself the possibilities for like a billion color palettes. That doesn't sound much like me, does it? I don't know why the text moves to the bottom so hard. Maybe there's an option here in the let's save real quick. Maybe there's something in the where are you at? The setup that'll let me look at the windows. Maybe I can move the text up a little bit. Windows. Is there anything here for text? How many color palettes do I need? See, that's the problem. I don't know, you know? Like, I think I have like close to 200 of them right now, and I should feel like that's more than enough. But I'm worried that I'm gonna like get those and then start up a song and be like, oh, but I really wish I had this one like I really wish I could do this, and not be able to do it. Which, I mean, all I would have to do is make a second set of the busking tools and do that, and then just whatever thing I need to do, I can do it from that setup's busking tools. I guess it's not the worst thing in the world to deal with, but it does mean managing even more MIDI channels. Let me go look at my execute grid again. Like, this is already going to be a lot bigger than, like, I already am going to probably need 2 execute grid pages. There is something to be said for having limitations and getting stuff done. I know, and I'm trying to decide where to put those limitations. Because I probably should. I should probably, back in the day, You got what you got, and that was it, dude. It was so easy getting weed back then. You just show up to the dude's place and be like, what do you got, bruh? And he's like, dude, I got this. And you're like, sweet, bruh. That sounds good. And then you go home smoking. It was terrible, and you were happy anyways because you didn't care. Now there's so many choices. You're just like, God, just give me some fucking weed. I don't need its life story. I just want to get high. They do too. They make it like fucking like organic food. They're like, so this was made on a farm by a guy named Bill, and he put the utmost care into making sure he tended every little nugget, and it can be super bullshitty. Oh, I need to make a choice here. Either way, I'm gonna have to port all of my color palettes from being cues into being palettes again, which I probably should have done in the first place, but can I just put like a fade timer? I mean, having color phasing is cool. I think having the color fading is enough of a it's cool enough to warrant moving over to doing all of this in the execute grid for sure. Because otherwise, I would just do it with playbacks like I had intended. But being able to do it this way, I feel like is cool enough that I want to be able to do this like that. That was fucking cool. Being able to do those color fades is gonna look really, really slick. But I also want to be able to organize them by color type. But if I move them around, that's going to break their MIDI automation because it MIDI automates based off of what cell they're in the execute grid. So I just have a lot of bad choices to make. And I want to make sure I don't make really bad choices. You know what I mean? Okay, so this was just testing basic color palettes. So this all needs to go away, I think. Oh wait, was I going to do color effects first? Because I know that that's going to be a much smaller deal. This is just for choosing color effects. This is all I was going to do with this. Like I can put a color flick in. And I think I can just choose whichever color it is that I want to flick in. So this gives me a lot of flexibility for pretty cool effects. We can just flick in the white. So see, like this is the kind of stuff that I'm excited about, like being able to do this kind of stuff. And like we could go back to the other execute grid and just set everything to a single color palette, but flick white into it. But I removed the movers from being able to do it since they like rotate. I thought it was better to do it this way, but we could change this. Does it work off of a timer? If I set it to like 3 seconds, does it slow this white flick down? Yeah, it doesn't seem to have any effect. That seems to be purely based on the tempo of the song. So that's good to know. Learning things. What the fuck is zoom chase? Oh, this is also interesting. So turning these things on when I turned it off, it didn't just straight turn off. I don't know what zoom chase is. But we can do things like I can set color 1 to yellow and set color 2 to lime, and then we could run a 2-color effect through everything, which I should probably set a color 2 that's a little bit farther away so we can actually see it going. And then we'd probably want to change the main palette to this one, right? So like just like that, like super quickly we can build some really cool color effects. That's pretty cool. Also, what happens if I add the off palette here? I should probably have that in here. What if I hit off? So off sets the movers to white, but then everything else doesn't have a color? Is that what's going on here? Let's turn off the 2-color effect. Yeah, that is what's going on. So I can just run the 2-color effect without a palette going on. Set color 2 to purple, set color 1 to like green. Like, look how quickly we can put together some really cool looking shit. Palettes are definitely going to be the way to go. Like, I'm 100% sold that we're automating with palettes. Let's go back to page 3 and get rid of all of this. And we're going to copy all of this over to page 3. And I think, what was my grid size here? 10 by 13. We'll go back to that. 10 by 13. Oh shit. 10 by 15. I need to, oh, okay, it auto removed them for me. 10 by 13. So let's go back to this page and let's copy all of our page jumps. Which I should actually set this to be 10 by 14, shouldn't I? I think all of these should at least be 10 by 14. Yeah. So I don't lose a couple MIDI notes, because I'm probably going to end up using every last one of them. Let's do the same with this one. Let's set this to... What the fuck are you? Oh, you're going away. Clear that region. We still need to decide what we're going to do about the color palettes, and I still need to think if there's anything else I want to use with palettes. I'm still just not sure. Which actually, I think this means I could use my 2-color effect with a palette that had like multiple things in it as well. That's kind of cool. That means I could like all no movers, right? That means I could do something like copy these guys into the execute grid. Remove you. This is just a quick test. This clear region, we'll set region. So if I'm understanding this correctly, where's my okay, so there's my color effects. This is my color palettes. So we're going to set that to off. That'll turn all the colors off. And now we could like pick our color palette here, and we could do like a... I can't turn it off. I need to find an off. I need to put an off cue in here. Let's copy my off palette. So now we can turn everything off. So now we can do set color 1 to like aesthetic, set color 2 to rad racer, and eventually we can MIDI automate all of these changes. I'm usually sitting on a pillow. I feel lower. My camera needs to be reset. Is that the end of Other Glow's record? Yep. Let's go check out the silence noise. Also, if anybody else here is a Twitch music streamer and feels like having your music played while I work, feel free to let me know. More than happy to give love to all my friends. Oh, the silence noise. Take me to his stuff. Why? Oh, okay. He just has a lot of records. Let's see all. I want the twist of a friendly knife. This is the new one he put out recently. Which if you don't all, which also once again, I got a chance to do a guest solo on this record, so make sure to give it a listen. Not because I'm in it, but just because Silence Noise is a good dude and he makes good music. Okay. Set color 1, set color 2. I know. I'm just trying to be nice and help support my friends. I'm just excited they let me play play guitar on it. It's pretty cool. Some of this stuff I feel like I'm not gonna need. I don't know what snap does. Okay, so I can fade colors from here, but these don't affect my movers. Show us my shirt. Good call. The silence noise. Give him some love. Why are you so much better at remembering this stuff than I am, Deanie? Like, I should know that. Alright, so if we remove that, we remove snap, and we run the 2-color effect. Now we get this 2-color effect between the two palettes that are somewhat similar, and it gives us a totally different vibe. So this is pretty cool, actually. The fact that I can use colored palettes to do this kind of stuff. And then, like, while this is going on, we could... Oh, that's why that's doing that. Let's turn that off. We could throw on, like, a circle movement effect here. That's a little bit slow, isn't it? Let's do something that's moving in segments. What's my tempo at? 120. I might have to, like, reevaluate some of these cues as I'm starting to, like, write them for real. Also, oh, Wolves is on Amazon. Nice. We'll play that next. Well, actually, I'm going to be done in 8 minutes, but at least now I know I need to, like, write a list of, I'm actually going to go ahead and start that now. I'm going to start a notepad file of song, artists to stream. So we have Other Glow. After Ever, because I'm probably going to be doing a lot of this here in the near future. The Silence Noisy. Silence Noise, we got Wolves, we got Something About Airplanes, and you're pretty sure the Something About Airplanes stuff would be cool about not DMCA-ing me in that shit. Obviously I can play my shit, but I don't really want to. But yeah, we'll throw it in the rotation. I'm just going to get this file started. I'm going to throw this on my desktop, just so I can have a reminder. Come on, computer. Hello, computer. My notepad's being all bitchy. Let's go to desktop. We're going to call this artist music streaming. I don't know. Now we'll call it work playlist. Maybe I can make my own, like, big Amazon playlist of all of this different stuff and do that. Well, even if you have no big money behind you, I know, like, I had to go back into I had to go back into CD Baby and specifically tell them not to, like, hunt after DMCA stuff because it was doing it. Just make sure you get the Portland punk band and not Death Cab EP. I will make sure. Yeah, we might have to work on these movement effects. Although, with that being said, once the tempo's ratcheted up a little bit, which, like, having the MIDI automation for the tempo changes is just so fucking nice, Deanie. It's so nice. Look at this. I just hit play on Reaper, and away we go. Away we go. Okay. Yeah, I might want to make some of these that are a little bit bigger, because this is a little bit repetitive. We'll go reevaluate a lot of these at a few different tempos. But I guess my concern was, like, I wanted to get one, like, if I get going at, like, 150. I guess this is good for a tight one. I need to have other ones that open up and go a little bit bigger, too, so we'll do a lot of that. I'm still not sure if I want to do these as, like, effects palettes or if I want to do these as playbacks, because the more I do this, the more I'm thinking I just don't want to deal with playbacks. But I have a lot more flexibility with playbacks. Could also turn everything off now and go grab our, do I have any, like, full lights yet? Like, I don't think I've built any, like, full looks yet. Various different effects. Man, I must have not saved at some point in time, because I thought I had. a little bit more going on in some of this. Also, I might need to like up the okay, so there's a kind of cool look. Like, see how quickly we can kind of put some stuff together here. Let me give you a full look at capture here. Like, that's pretty cool. I mean, that's a simple cue, and I think one thing that I really want to focus on with the lighting now is, as it is right now, I kind of only had enough to... I need to get instrumental. Let me, hold on, let's do this. Silence has like an instrumental thing. I think that's a better choice. Instrumentals volume 1. Let's do that. Ugh. I'm dying. But like, I want to focus on lighting things that focus on like maybe more smaller and specific sets of lights, because when I started I kind of only had just enough lights to light everything up, but now I can do effects where we do something like this, where we pick 2 particular banks and we do an effect with that, and then like okay, we can turn this up a little bit now that we don't have the vocals in there, but COVID, yep, gonna die. But I could come over here and like add into the cue. I could add like where are we at? The drum lights. We could like turn this up so that we have a light on you that's not really chasing in the same way, although the colors are still chasing. That's interesting. Let's go look at this from your perspective. So it looks like the colors are still chasing on your light, which actually makes for a pretty cool look. But we got like no light on me and Darth, so we could come in here and grab the front wash and front pars and turn those up, right? So now just like that, we have a light that is bright enough that all the performers are lit up. We have an effect running, and we have a color effect running all at the same time, and we can easily trigger all of this off of MIDI simultaneously. So that's a pretty easy way to get a look going pretty quickly. I am legitimately excited about this. The back of Deanie Dome. Yeah, let's go look at the Deanie cam perspective. Yeah, I rigged up a couple different cameras so I could get a feel for how things were going to look, you know, when we're playing. This might be one of those things where I might also choose to like turn one of the... Do I have like a... I don't know if I have a specific thing for just the drum lights. I might make some chases that are specific to that. Mover chase, tri-strip. Yeah, so see, there we go. We could like throw on those. That is much what it looks like, all those damn lights. Yep. It's kind of crazy how much is going on in here. But it'd be kind of nice to have some light on the drums. But this is where we could decide, like, you know, based off of everything it is that we have going on in the set or whatever, I could make a cue that runs all of this. Although the one thing I'm not sure of is writing 2. Is this all like in the it loads up into the programmer, and so does the color effect. So I could probably, like, now that we have all of this in the programmer, I could probably like record this as its own cue and then just hit play off of it. But do I want to do things that way? Because if I do, it's going to be hard coded with whatever I'm actually not entirely sure how this is going to work. That may not be in the programmer at the moment. So many things to figure out, Deanie. So many things to figure out. How does it look, by the way? Does it look pretty crisp and easy to see what's happening here? Does the layout having the capture thing down in the bottom left corner? I spent most of the stream like setting up the cameras and setting up all of the screen captures so I could show off what was going on. Hopefully it all looks okay. But I think we're at a good stopping point because I've got some basic organization. I can get my mind off of it and kind of think. So I think that's what we're going to do for now. We're in a good spot here. I'm gonna take my time and spend a little while building before I start writing any songs, just because I want to make sure I do it right. Got to make sure it's nice and clean. Let's see here. I wonder if anybody else is working on any music production stuff. I'm going to see if I can search for that.
And it was
Music production. It's really hard to like find other people who are doing production work, isn't it? Looks like that violin chick is jamming. We're gonna go raid her. Thanks everyone for coming in and hanging out. I won't be here tomorrow, but I will be back on Wednesday. We're gonna start the day on Wednesday with actually let's just go to this right now. We're gonna start the day on Wednesday with doing a stream with my my friend Jeremiah, which is gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna be setting up a little bit more on doing oh god, that was almost loud for a second. Those videos for stream tips on how to build stuff and everything. So make sure to come check that out. Right now we're gonna go right into that violin chick and say hey. So give me just one moment and we're gonna get out of here. Thank you all so much for coming and hanging out. Deanie, I'll see you soon. Take it easy, y'all.